So you're going to end up ripping the cardboard spool off. So I've got ASA, PLA, and PETG. Hey folks, it is a freezing cold morning here in Vermont. I've got a lot on my plate today. I got a couple designs I want to get working on. I've got a lot to clean up as well, and it's Amazon Day. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Before I can get anything packed up or designed or anything like that, I want to get this place cleaned. And I know we seem to clean this place a lot, but even in a side business, day to day, things tend to get a little bit messy. So let's get all this stuff from the previous test videos cleaned up. I want my shipping station back. And then I want to get just the rest of the whole shop organized a little bit better. So I just thought of this real quick. I don't really know what to do with this stuff. It was really just printed out for a test, and I know that's wasteful. But I'd rather give these away to somebody who could reuse them. I know some of these are a mixture of PLA, PETG, and ASA. So I'd be willing to, separate the ASA and all the other stuff out of there into PLA, PETG if somebody wants to regrind it down or has a way of reusing it, wants to melt it, whatever you want to do with it, let me know down in the comments below or reach out to me on Facebook. I'll have that linked in the description as well. It's pretty new, so we don't have a lot of activity going on there, but it's a good way to get in touch with me. So I'm just going to get all this stuff cleaned up for right now. It's just all going to go into one box. All right, so I've got ASA, PLA, and PETG. Anybody is interested in any one of these or all three of them, again, let me know down below. All you have to do is pay for the shipping. And this is, I guess, open to anywhere in the world, as long as you're paying for shipping. There is still a lot of stuff that I gotta clean up down here. There's just a lot of filament and, dirt, stuff like that. And believe it or not, I do own a broom and a vacuum, so I'm gonna get to using those right now. And this actually brings up a little good point. I'm using a gimbal to record this, so it kind of is a smooth motion. If you haven't seen a gimbal, I'll put one on screen right now. Anyway, it dies quite often, especially if you forget to shut it off. So I need to print some of those little cable connectors. So that guy there, yeah, he doesn't pull this cable off and knock the whole thing on the floor. I'm gonna get some of those started on the A1 Mini. Oh, would you look at that? Turns out the Flexi Spot came with one. Well, that was easy. So FL Sun is sending out a whole new extruder hot end unit here. Probably gonna take a couple weeks to get in just because of the new year. I could be wrong, it could be coming from the States, so if that's the case, we'll get this printer back up and running a little bit quicker than expected, but I'm prepared for it to be down for about a month. All right, now that I've got this area down here cleaned up a little bit better, I wanna tackle this corner there. Gonna get the printer moved over here a little bit, and I also wanna get our shipping station set up a little bit better. So I'm just gonna get right over there and get to it. And I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I have a bunch of stuff to send to Amazon. I have, I don't know, 100 or so dumbbells that I need to get out there, and I only have about 30 in stock. To prevent myself from running out here, I'm gonna assemble probably 100 more, so I still have about 30 on hand. With all that said, I'm just gonna get right to it because it's gonna be a minute. And as exciting as I'm sure it is to watch me assemble all of these dumbbells, let's jump into Amazon Seller Central really quick and get some labels printed out so we can start packing some of these up. I'm not gonna go in depth in this video. That's gonna be saved for the video that is currently also being filmed while I'm doing this. So that's basically gonna take us start to finish, listing a new item, getting it prepped to ship out, and restocking some of the stuff that we're running low on. That video will be out in a couple days, and I'll have it linked down in the description below of this video when it is out so you can reference to it. So I've had a couple people ask me what I use for my label printer, and this is just like a $45 Amazon printer from Freddy, V-Ready, however you say it. This was pretty difficult to get set up. There's no real instructions for it. The drivers for it are not easily locatable. I was able to get it set up, and it works just fine now with auto detect on my Macs, but it does have to be plugged in to work. It's not a Bluetooth printer, it's just a USB one, hence why it's $45. So if you're just looking for something basic and don't mind that it's USB, works pretty well. It is linked down in the description below, and I'll also put the Bluetooth version of this as well. They do have one for like 30 or 40 extra dollars. Packing and shipping the items is pretty straightforward as well. Pack things up just like you normally would for Etsy. except you're not going to put them in your final mailer. So say for the dumbbells, I can put them in a bubble mailer like this and slap the label on this and it's ready to go. Amazon will just put their shipping label on this, and I think I'll save like 17 cents or something versus having Amazon put it in their own packing materials. But it actually costs more for me to send it out in one of these than it does to save that 15 or 17 cents. So I just forego these and I put them directly inside of a bubble mailer. They get a label on them and they go into a box. That way Amazon is able to scan the label, put this into their own packaging, and get it on its way to the customer. So these aren't the normal bubble bags that I typically use. I mentioned a couple videos ago that before the holiday season, Amazon was out of stock of the ones that I usually use. I have more of those on their way. They will be here tomorrow. So part of these will probably end up getting shipped out with those. But for now, I've got a bunch of these, so I figure we might as well use them. So these are pretty self-explanatory, straightforward. They just go into a bag. So what I'm gonna do to just streamline this process is get them packed up in these bags, get some tape on there, and then I'll apply the labels afterwards. All right, I've got about 20 or so of them ready right now. That's enough for me to start getting some tape onto them and start getting some labels applied to them. All right, I am going to get the rest of these assembled, put into bags, get labeled up, and the rest of this will all be in that dedicated video on getting stuff sent out to Amazon. Now that I've gone through and packed up most of those Amazon orders, I'm out of dumbbells, so I gotta get some more reprinted out on A1 Mini 1. I'm just gonna set that up again like we normally have it, running through constant printing of products, because it takes about 8 hours to print out 4 actual sets of dumbbells. So it's easier to keep them going than it is to try to print a couple of them whenever they sell. All right, so the A1 Mini is heating up now to print some more dumbbells. I've got fingerprint coasters on the P1P going. I'd like to get some of these sent to Amazon in packs of 4, I think. Doing them in single packs just doesn't make sense for Amazon. Etsy is fine, but I think we're gonna stick to 4 or 6 for Amazon. All right, and I'd like to get more Husky keychains printed out to send on over to Amazon. I've got a pretty big collection right now of the Beagle keychains, but Huskies are running low, and English Bulldogs, this is the only one I've got left. So I'm gonna get some of the keychains started up on the A1 Mini with the AMS. All right, right now I've got yellow on here, which I don't need. I've had a few questions. My brother actually broke one of his spools from removing it from the AMS. I found if you try to come from the front and just pull like this, you're gonna end up ripping the cardboard spool off. But if you can come from behind and kind of also push at the same time, the spool comes right off pretty easily. And for all the keychains, I like to use the Super Tack plate from Bamboo. It is by far the best adhesion on any build plate that I've used so far. And this dark area over here is not something I typically show off in the videos all that much, because it's not really related to 3D printing. With that said though, this channel isn't always going to be about 3D printing. In fact, it's called The Mountain Maker for a reason, because I make other things than just 3D printed stuff, although not recently. What I really want to do is get this whole CNC area cleaned up. I've got a couple designs that I'm working on with the 3D printers for the CNC. And today I'm also going to be tackling something for this guy here. I've got a couple adapters that I use with it that I just end up losing because they can't be attached to it. So I want to get something set up so I can have, you know, all my spray stuff in one area. Before I do that though, I have to get the rest of this area cleaned up, and that includes this area of wires and internet and all this good stuff. So I'm going to start working on all this stuff and figure out where it's going to actually end up. See if we can get this area a little bit more organized and useful to us. So I've got this area cleaned up a little bit better. There's lots of, you know, paint stains and stuff on here. It's sink I want to get cleaned up as well. That's bad, but it's easy to clean up, I think. That I'm not too concerned over. But I am happy I got most of the stuff cleaned up off of here. I do want to get something designed for the Graco TrueCoat and my little HVLP gun there, so I can have all of these accessories that go with it. So this thing here is a little separator that goes into there. I'd just like to be able to have it attached to the thing that the gun is being held with, as well as all the little accessories and stuff like that. And this thing doesn't need to be here. It's a liquor shelf that I built a couple years ago that I ended up not selling and just kind of left it here to store some of the automotive stuff and some of my paint stuff. But we're gonna come up with a better solution for all of that as well. I think we can store it either down there or maybe even in the third bay for some of the stuff that doesn't need to be, like I'm not gonna put this out in the third bay, but stuff like the tools, that's fine to go out there. There's also a lot of paint and stains and stuff down here that probably aren't very good anymore. It's been a couple years since I've used a lot of these, so I'm probably gonna go through and weed out the ones that are still good. Most of the stuff I use, at least on this shelf, is water-based. For the other stuff, I'll end up bringing it down to the local recycling center, town dump, and they have a spot for used paint and stuff like that. And that also means we can get the radio alarm set out of here and into the third bay. Like I mentioned probably 3 or 4 vlogs ago, I'm gonna get this off the table, put somewhere out there. That way we can get this table that it's sitting on for the laser. Like I mentioned before, this fan is not really well suited to be feeding out through here and then up that hose. It's just too far of a distance for that to effectively be clearing all of the fumes and stuff out of here. So putting it out there and letting the fumes and stuff vent out of here and then down a couple feet into a little port out the door, I think that's gonna work a lot better. And as usual, I changed my mind already. You can see I've moved the laser over onto the bench that we just recently cleared out. This actually is gonna end up working okay, I think. I've got access to use everything. It's up against the wall. It's not on the stand anymore. I'm not going to be able to, actually, I can't open that drawer. I didn't even test that out before. This is going to work out perfect. My plan is, since there's a port here, I know it's a little dark over here, but I think I can just run a hose off of here and feed it up somewhere over there. And then on the other side, maybe we can come out somewhere over here and feed it out through this little opening there. I think we can probably come up with some sort of port that fits onto that little area there. See, just organizing things a little bit and moving stuff around to a new location kind of gives you things that you can 3D print or designs that you can come up with that are unique to your situation, or in my case, unique to my situation. Like, I'm not gonna find a port that's specifically designed for that size. And I also need to design an adapter that goes on both sides of the wall. So looking at it now, that's gonna be a pretty unique situation to me as well. So that's what 3D printing is kind of perfect for. And I'm really enjoying learning more 3D modeling. That DJI case for this thing that I was talking about earlier, I've probably gone through 15 iterations of it, just testing the different fitments and different designs and stuff. So that I am going to be releasing on my Etsy store in a little bit, but I still have some more tweaking to do. I got to come up with some sort of design for it. But when I am ready to release that, I'll put that in one of the videos as well. So I've clearly got a lot to think about and to put into place over the next couple of weeks in terms of designs of new products, or even just things for myself that I need that I can come up with a design for. And if you didn't see the last video where we tested rapid versus standard filaments, there's a link down in the description below for that. I also announced in that video the FlashForge giveaway. So FlashForge is sponsoring with us to give away one of their Adventurer 5M series machines when we hit 10,000 subscribers. Link is down in the description below for that giveaway. You don't have to be subscribed to the channel to win, but announcements and all the future updates and everything will be announced on this channel only. So if you are subscribed, it will be beneficial to you. The winner will be announced shortly after we hit 10,000 subscribers, but I do want to leave it up for a little while anyway to give people a little bit of time to enter. The grand prize winner is going to win a machine of their choice, either the Adventurer 5M, the Adventurer 5M Pro, like the one behind me, or their new 85X multicolor printer when that comes out in a couple weeks. We're also giving away a second and third place prize. Second place winner is going to win 4 spools of your choice of Elegoo's PLA filament. Third place winner is going to win 2 spools of Bamboo Lab PLA, and there's going to be multiple winners of that third place. So 3 people will be able to win 2 spools each of Bamboo Lab PLA of your choice. If you're interested in participating in the giveaway, again, links are down in the description below, and good luck to whoever wins. That's where we're gonna wrap this one up, folks. I wanna thank you all so much again for joining me in the print farm today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and like to do so, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows this is what you enjoy seeing. I will see you all in the next video, everybody. Take care.